Hello, good evening. I'm just lint rolling myself because I want to do some resin really fast. Before we get started, I'm gonna do resin on these. So hello. All right, start with this, get this out of the way so it can do its thing. How's it going, everyone? Happy Thursday. So I use Resin Rockers. It is the only brand of resin that I recommend. I've tried many brands of resin in the past, and it just doesn't stay nice the whole time. All resin will yellow or amber over time. That's just what happens. But I've been using this resin for at least 4 years, and I have not noticed any yellowing at all. Even with their UV resin, like, they just have, their formula is just, it's got some sort of magic in it that just, you know, keeps it from yellowing longer than all the other brands. It's also got low VOCs, so like you can't smell it. It doesn't smell bad. You know, they'll recommend that you always wear like a mask and stuff. But I mean, I don't know anyone who have had any sort of like contact dermatitis, skin reaction from this resin. Doesn't mean that they won't. But I know a ton of people who have with other brands. So I trust this brand more. I feel a little bit safer using this brand. I still wear gloves because I don't want to get resin all over me, and I still keep it in a container. But yeah, I just like their resin so much more. And if you've never bought from them before, you can use my code Jenna or Jenna10, I don't remember, on their website. Save a little bit of money. But can one of you guys share the this link to the Facebook chat / Facebook group for me, please? I see some comments coming in from other lives, so I think people think that whatever live they're watching, a replay, is like the actual live. So I just want to make sure we get everybody to the right place. So we're just going to do a quick resin pour really fast so I can get this curing, and then we're going to finish those 2 ornaments and paint something. I don't know. I would not, so I don't recommend using UV resin on things like that for like a multitude of reasons. But one of the reasons is that it's like UV resin kind of like pulls the air and stuff out of wood, so like coasters, and you'll notice like this like weird, it almost looks like there's condensation between the wood and the resin, and it just doesn't look nice. You also don't know if it's actually curing 100% because coasters are not see-through. So while it may feel cured on top, it might not be underneath. So I use a 2-part resin almost exclusively, unless I'm using it on like keychains, which, you know, has glitter that you can kind of penetrate, the light can penetrate through. No, it's okay. I'll wait till like Paula gets in here or something. No big deal. No big deal. I do, yep. So Perfect Pour is their one-to-one. Perfect Finish, I'll use Perfect Finish too. Perfect Finish is a little bit thicker, so it's harder to get micro bubbles out. I was using Perfect Finish for a while, just because I didn't have to do 2 coats of resin usually, but this is just so great to get, like, the bubbles just come out of this so easily that I'm just like, whatever. Oh wait, hold on, 1 second. Did I buy the wrong one? I don't remember. Perfect Pour, Perfect Finish, Perfect... I think this is their normal one. Whatever their normal one is. No, this is their normal one, because I popped bubbles on this the other day and it was just fine. So I'm doing a resin pour on these, and then we're gonna finish the ones behind it off. They're done. They just, like, I need to finish the backs. And then, I don't know. I have a stash jar lid prepped. I also have some other of those, like, wood ornaments that I was kind of painting earlier today. I knew. Mixy, 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 mixy. The resin, each resin that you use will tell you how long to mix it, and I just mix till I feel like it's good, you know? Thank you. So, it kind of depends, Victoria. So the one at Hobby Lobby is like $25, and it's small. It's like, it's pretty small. Like, I go through it really fast. It's good in a pinch, but I'd rather buy it off the website, pay a little bit more, but get more of it, right? And then you have to pay shipping on their website, but you know, sometimes it's easier for me to just get a bigger container of resin than have to always go back to Hobby Lobby. But definitely going to Hobby Lobby is totally fine. You know, they sell their resin there now, and it's convenient, right? Yeah, it is. They recently, sometime I think last year or something, they started selling it there. Oh, Shelby, are you sick? I'm sorry. I'm mixing resin to pour it on top of some paintings that I did recently. So I do apologize right now. I'm just going to be working fast, kind of just really not paying attention to the chat as much at the moment. Just trying to get all this resin on and get the lid back on so that I can avoid getting, like, you know, dust and air floaties onto this. Yeah, definitely. So this will take at least about 24 hours to be cured to the touch. And then they say about 72 hours to be like really scratch resistant. So, but it doesn't take all that long. This is not a fast set epoxy. So this is kind of just like, you know, your pretty average set time. Which is why I just want to do it, get it there, get it on here, get it sitting, you know. That way I can check it tomorrow, and if I need to do a second coat, I can. So I went back and forth on whether I wanted to put resin on top of this bunny. This is gonna be one of our VIP projects for March. And I decided ultimately that I did want to put resin on this. You don't have to, but if you wanted to, after I teach you how to paint this one, you totally can. But I think, well, I'm gonna have to obviously make two, this one and, you know, one during the live, but I think I want to keep one of them in display on my own, you know, when I decorate for Easter. Oh, Donna, I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry to hear that. Eric Dane. Oh no, is that McSteamy, right? Is that who Eric Dane is? No way. Oh shit. Yeah, I do varnish before I resin, yep. It helps kind of bring the black background back to life, and then I feel like it just kind of adds like a nice layer over the wood, so that the resin just lays super smoothly and it doesn't get like air caught between. Because I feel like sometimes that happens. It doesn't like soak into the wood, you know, it just sits on top. So if you have a decent enough wood grain still, I feel like you just can't get like a nice, a beautiful, beautiful, perfect resin finish. So when I do resin, I do it in little parts. You know, I don't overflow the entire thing at once. I find it easier to control the spillage over the sides if I do it this way. And if it does start to go over the sides, I just pushed some over by accident, I'm not super worried about it. I can fix it after it cures, so. So I'm just kind of slowly adding a little extra in hopes that I don't have to do a second layer. So I'm just gonna, you know, top it off a little bit. I do always like intend to do a second layer if need be, but obviously it's awesome if I don't have to. I know. And then I just go in with my torch lighter and I just pop the bubbles. Now I'll close this up for a little bit, let the bubbles rise a little bit more, and then I'll pop them again. I'm just gonna cover it in the meantime to keep the floaties at bay. We can do it on these, so I'll show you, because I have to, you know, finish these ones off. Got some drippies. It's nothing too crazy. I redid my nails on my own. I got tired of the green and I needed to like resharpen my nails anyways. So I just decided to add some of the other colors on my nails. I did 2 different hands. Hello. It is easy once you get used to it. Obviously, you know, it does require some practice, but once you do it enough, I would say that resin really isn't all that intimidating. So this I actually got from Ace Hardware. It's like $8, but it is refillable if you need it to. And I just freaking love this thing. You got some exciting news. I used to get like a torchlight, like the long one at Hobby Lobby, but they stopped selling it, those buttholes. They're not like selling like any of my stuff anymore. And the last time a store did that, that was Joanne Fabrics. So what can you get at the flea market super cheap right now? Yay, Rosie! That's amazing news. A couple little bubbles. I'm gonna just kind of push them a little bit further to the top. No big deal, no big deal. Whoops, don't do that, huh? Probably went a little thick on this resin coat, which is why there's still some bubbles, some little micro bubbles, but that's all right. I'll just be patient. Yay, congratulations. Oh, awesome. Very nice, very nice. I'm becoming my mermaid self again on Saturday. I mean, this doesn't have to be perfect. This will probably be for me, but still. All right, so now I'm gonna just go put this somewhere flat, and I'll check it tomorrow. That's water. So that one's from Hobby Lobby. It is like 7.25 by like 9.6, like some weird size. Yeah, that's awesome though. I know you're excited. What the frick? Trying not to poke myself. There we go. So I don't ever take the masking tape off until the very end because it offers obviously like a layer of protection. Now this one, this little guy, he sat for a little longer than I'd want him to because I needed to put an extra coat on and then I just like didn't. So he's gonna be not too hard of a cleanup, but harder than this one will be. And then any of the drips, I just take some pliers if they don't come off on their own to just clean up the main part, right? But we're not done yet. Now, I see that some of the resin dripped underneath the masking tape, which when I'm not being lazy, I used to add like a layer of resin tape on the back on top of the masking tape. But I've been getting lazy and I just, you know, I can fix it. But had I had resin tape over the masking tape, the resin wouldn't have like seeped underneath some of this masking tape. Like the masking tape must have been a little loose, you know. So anyways, probably shouldn't do that. Don't want to break a nail. The strip is being a little stinker. There we go. Hello, hello in Sweden. Okay. So now you got to be careful with this, okay? This is an X-Acto blade. You don't want to cut yourself. So if I have any resin that leaks onto the wood, the first thing I do is I heat it up with my lighter, and then I just, you know, pick it off if I need to. No, oh, that's really sad. I knew he was pretty far along, but I didn't think he was that far along. Poor guy. And I'm just gonna, so I do paint over this, but all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run my X-Acto blade as flat as I can just to get this nice and, you know, pretty smooth. I could sand this too if I wanted to, and maybe I will, but I just, I want to try to avoid sanding it if I can. Yeah. Aw, that's really sad. Now this is not 100% always typical that I have to do this part. Usually it just, the masking tape will help, but in this case I was a little unlucky. Okay, so now that the backs are clean, I look to see if I can clean any of the edges. Well, as long as you keep your fingers away, you'll be all right. And you just take your X-Acto. Now my blade probably needs changed, so it's not as sharp as it could be, but you know, it's fine. So I just heat it just a little bit with my lighter just to get it soft. And then you can run your blade carefully. Keep it away from your fingers. Don't do it towards yourself. Do it away from yourself. And this will help me clean up the edges. It's easier when you just kind of hit it with like a heat gun or a lighter, just really fast. Not so much that like you start like burning your resin layer on the top, right? But this is a pretty easy way to kind of fix your drips. And I'll go back in with like a tiny paintbrush. Like you can see I'm kind of like removing some of my base coat, and that's all right. I'm not worried about it. And I'll go back in with like a teeny paintbrush or like a little Q-tip and touch up any of the areas where I took some of the base coat off. It's been a few days. I try not to do it right away, because if the resin's still soft, you can like start getting like sticky pieces, like, you know what I mean? So I won't do it immediately, but the longer you wait, the harder it is to remove it. So like I wouldn't wait like a week, for example. I would do it within like 3 or 4 days max. As long as it's dry enough to touch, you know, and it's not like still sticky at all on top, you can do this. You just got to be careful. And it's nice and clean on the edges. On plastic, it might be a little different, you know, you might melt your plastic. I pretty much only do this on wood, so. It really does. My, one of my neighbors, like growing up on my parents' street, their kids are, you know, their oldest kid, their son was like a few years younger than me, and then he had like, you know, some little sisters. But the mom, her biggest, so like in school we had to read, is it Tuesdays with Maury? Is that the book where the guy has ALS? I don't remember the name of the book. I think it was that book though. We had to read it, and when the neighbors' kids were reading it, the mom, she was like, that's my biggest fear. I never want to get this, you know, that would just be such a terrible thing. Like one of the worst ways to go, you know, and poor lady wound up getting diagnosed with it not even 10 years later, and she passed away within like 2 years. And she was young. Like, I think she was probably like, you know, late 40s, early 50s. Right, exactly, exactly. All right, so now I'm just going to touch up some of the areas along the edges that I scraped off some of the paint. Carefully. Now, if you get paint on your resin, you can just, you know, quickly wipe it off with your finger like that. Not a big deal. No big deal, no big deal. Me and my nails, the typos on for me is just ridiculous. Okay. Now I'm going to flip them over because I like to paint the backs. Now I don't resin the back. I know most of you guys know this. I don't resin the back. I will add liquid diamond or just like my sparkly top coat over the black just to make them, you know, presentable, right? But like the main, you know, the main thing is the front. And this way, if someone wants to add like any type of personalization, like a name or a date or like a simple quote, I can do that. And I also, I put my signature on the back too. I do. Well, for my black paint, I don't. Just something that's flat. I prefer like a flat paintbrush for a base coat. For my top coats, especially if I'm using triple thick, I like the 1/2 inch oval mop paintbrush from Hobby Lobby. And I usually grab like 1 or 2 of them when they're on sale, like the Master's Touch when they're on sale. Think of them like those eyeshadow brushes. They're like flat, but they're like fluffy, but they're not round, you know. You want something with really nice soft bristles, nothing super hard, because that's how you you know, will still see your brush strokes. Hi, what's up, Heather? And I would show you, but I need to wash my paintbrushes. But 1/2 inch oval mop is my go-to. But when it comes to my black paint, just any flat paintbrush will do. Because I feel like I'm really bad at cleaning my brushes. So, you know, I just buy cheaper paintbrushes so that, you know, eventually I'll just toss them once they get super logged up. I do wash my brushes with like dish soap, and I know that there's the pink stuff or whatever it's called to wash your paintbrushes, but I just scrub it with some dish soap. But I usually let my brushes soak for a couple days before I like actually really wash them, because, you know, I'm just lazy, and I just, you know, I'll wash a bunch of them at once. So eventually the brushes, they just get ruined. Brush strokes with the triple thick or your like base coat? Your relief has arrived. Yay. All right, don't mind my dirty paintbrushes. I'll show you. So these brushes, now this one's old, okay? And it's hard to tell because they're, you know, they're old, but They're not like flat. I mean, they're kind of flat because they're wet. They do puff up just a little bit when they dry. But like they have some body to them. Like a flat paintbrush would be like one of those, you know what I mean? Like one of these. This has a little bit more fluff to it, and the bristles are really nice and soft. Again, those are called the 1/2-inch oval mop paintbrush. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee real fast. Oh. Sorry, I'm gonna wipe. I'm wiping my camera lens off because I just feel like, I don't know. I felt like it was a little weird looking. Shelby, feel better, my love? Who's still watching the Olympics? Anyone? Scott made me laugh today. He was like, oh, look, figure skating's on again. Oh, gotcha. Well, sometimes, you know, you need to do a few layers, and it depends also on how long you're letting your paint dry in between. If you're layering a light color, for example, like let's say, I don't know, let's say you're trying to paint something white, for example, you need to let your paint actually dry before you add your second layer, because as you go over it with your paintbrush for the second layer, you're gonna start like messing up the first layer if it's not all the way dry, and you'll start to see like the streaks, if that makes sense. So it might be the paintbrush, or you might be a little impatient. It's okay. I do the same thing, but and if you're trying to go lighter over a darker color, you're definitely going to need to do multiple layers. All right. So, earlier today, I was working on these. And I also have a penguin prepped, a sea turtle prepped, bunny feet prepped, and I also have a stash jar prepped if you guys want to do a stash jar instead. But it is Thursday, so over the next couple days we are going to have to do our ornaments. I have one done, I'm pretty sure. I don't think we did that this week. I don't know. Did we do that one this week? The only one I know for sure ornament-wise I did this week was the owl. So, yeah, you're welcome. But I'm going to get some sparkle on top of this. I need to get more Q-tips. I keep forgetting to get them on Amazon. Oh, it's been so long since I've done a bee. Layers. That's the answer, layers. So basically what I do is I'll do like little sideways hearts for the wings. And like I'll do like a little yellow oval, and then once the yellow oval dries, I do black, like I try and do some black lines. It's been a long time since I've done a bumblebee. I might have to go back and look and see what I did on TikTok. But yeah, the bees definitely aren't something you can do in one, like I would consider the bees on like penguin level, you know what I mean, where you have to do one layer, let it dry, and then go back in and add your details and so on and so forth. I think I used Bahama Blue for the peep, for the original like bottom layer, I'm pretty sure. And then I'm going in with one of my pastel pigments that are not released yet, but they'll probably be releasing by the end of this month. I'm just waiting for my supplier to come back from, you know, his Chinese/Lunar New Year break. And then I can discuss pricing with him and, you know, all that stuff and kind of go from there. Thank you. Someone else messaged me this morning, or this afternoon, I guess, and they were like, I just have to say, like, I think these wood ornaments are probably some of my favorite items that you're doing right now. And she was like, your pictures on your website are nothing compared to what they actually look like in person. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. But it's true, like, the camera just doesn't capture the shift of the paints and the glitter and all that kind of stuff, you know. There's just some stuff that you just quite frankly have to see it in person to really get the full beauty of it, you know. They're pretty in pictures, but they're prettier in person. I know. It's gonna be interesting because they're like a what, $11 more expensive than my typical ornaments. But, you know, at the same time, these are kind of like little mini paintings and they do take longer, so, you know, they are going to be more expensive, but hopefully people kind of see past the price tag and really love the item itself, you know. So this is a new color. It's a tester pigment. So it has not released yet, but it will be, I promise. I did name them, but I haven't 100% like decided if I'm gonna like commit to the certain names. So I don't have them, the names memorized yet because I'm not 100% committed on what I'm naming them, but this is a new pigment that doesn't exist yet. It's one of the pastels. They might be. I don't know for sure. I'm hoping not, but they are different. So that's one of the things I just want to double check with my supplier first, obviously, before I post them for sale. I'm hoping not, but it was a completely different listing. So. They're also like the ones that I have anyways. If you have my other, like the chameleon pigments, you may notice how like some of them kind of, they pack down a little bit, you know, that's the best way I can describe it. These ones are a little bit more like glittery, powdery. So the other thing I have to figure out is like, is 1 gram gonna fit in my little 3 gram container, or do I have to go larger? I don't know that answer because my samples that I bought, they were only like 0.2 of a gram, so it's kind of hard to tell if they'll actually fit in the containers or not. I mix it with Duraclear High Gloss Varnish. Oh, I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. My lid had some because I accidentally put this upside down. But anyways, like, look at that. Ugh. So the way that I would use these would be very similar, like the pastel ones would be very similar to the way that I use Folk Art Extreme Glitter, you know, where like when I use hologram, I put it over a light color and the glitter kind of just enhances the original color. That's kind of how these are, except some of them do have color, so you're better off putting them over like colors. Like this one has a blue to it, so like I wouldn't put it over white because it would turn blue, if that makes sense. I mean, you could, but that's not what I'm going for. Guys, I reorganized my paint the other day, so my metallics are no longer over here because I just needed to like move some stuff. So I reorganized these, and then some of the metallics and stuff are up there because honestly I really don't use them as much, so I'd rather them be out of reach. It is a peep. It's a peep. I have a yellow one done, but I'm going to do a blue one. I also have like a bunny peep done as well. It's purple. I probably should have done this part first before I did the flow fill with the glitter, but we'll just be careful. Remember that those pink tools, Heather, there are 2 different sizes. One of them is like sharper and skinnier than the other. So just keep that in mind. I tend to use this sharper, skinnier one for my line work. It helps me get into the small spaces. And then if I want to do like micro dots or something, I'll usually use the other one. I do. So you used to actually be able to get them at Dollar Tree, but they stopped selling them. I feel like Dollar Tree is like getting rid of their art section. Has anybody noticed that recently? Like I feel like when I went literally like a couple days ago, they had nothing in their art aisle. Like it was so bare. But I was able to snag these before they like disappeared. So I did get some for you guys. They're $1.50 on the website, and that's literally just to cover the cost of me buying them and also like my packaging supplies. So like I'm not making money on them. They're just purely for convenience for you guys. I don't make money off them. For real. Which is so silly because like, I mean, some of the art supplies there are like awesome. I think I missed some black right here, huh? I'll have to touch that up later. No big deal. Okay. Yeah, you might get really lucky if you do find them in stores, which I did not. I had to buy them online. If stores do have them, they are for a penny. So my bet is that someone probably already bought them all, but you might get lucky and find them. But I unfortunately was not lucky enough to find them that inexpensive. I freaking wish, though. That would have been awesome. It's just so silly. I don't know. I hate all the changes that the stores are making. Like, not that I really use much stuff from the Dollar Tree craft aisle, but like every once in a while there's a tool or something that I find to be really helpful. Right, exactly. Like, I don't understand why they would get rid of it when like that's such a popular thing to like do DIYs from Dollar Tree. Like those always get tons of views when you post Dollar Tree DIYs on social media. Like, I even got like a ton of views whenever I use those square pencil holders, those Jot pencil holders, to hold all of my paint, and made a video on that a couple years ago. That video got so many views, like in the million, like at least 1 million views at one point. And then of course, like, we couldn't find them for a while. But I found 3 the other day. They were like iridescent clear ones. They weren't the colored ones, but hey, I still found 3 and I bought them because I needed some. Yeah, I did see a bunch of boxes near the aisle, but you know, they just probably don't have the staff to stock it right now. Sometimes I do. I haven't with my most recent ones. But if I do, I just use hot glue in case I want to like rearrange and stack them differently. If I didn't use hot glue, they wouldn't be able to break them apart very easily. And sometimes I need to lower one stack and make another stack higher. But once you put the paint in them, as long as they're up against a wall, like I just push mine against a wall, they don't move. At least mine don't, you know. So I just let the weight of the paint kind of hold them down. It's not like you're constantly tugging on them, right? They're holding paint, they're leaning up against something. Mine have never toppled over. Yep. So far, pastel pigments is what I'm using on this. I know, they're so yummy. Now this one I noticed, and I keep forgetting to message Anna, but I will maybe tomorrow because I have to send her something. This one's missing a foot. The last time I painted this one, I had to draw a little foot onto it. I'm gonna do it again. Yep, that's what I do too. I do the same thing. Like like near like the school supplies and stuff. So they're square boxes like this. Sometimes they're clear with that iridescent on them, and sometimes they're colored. But yeah, I just stack them, and they hold 4 bottles of like acrylic paint so easily. Like it's not like they're not like stuck. Like you can pull them out really easily. But that's all that my paint storage is, and I just think it's so satisfying. And honestly, I don't care about the color, you know, it's whatever. Sometimes you can find them on the website. Usually and I haven't checked for a second, but if I notice that they're on the website, I'll usually tell you guys. Okay, I rearranged my paint. So where did I put my Starlight varnish? Hmm. Hmm. We're gonna have to put that over here because I use that a lot. Oh yeah. Well, so they don't always have them. Most of the time, if they do have them, it'll be around when they start like restocking school supplies. But yeah, they're not always available, unfortunately. I wish. You could totally leave your like warm beige color as is. You don't have to put anything over it, but I put a little, this varnish, it's called the Starlight Varnish. I think it was on clearance on DecoArt's website. It just gives a little bit of a sparkle, nothing too overwhelming. And it just kind of makes it look not as like flat and boring of a color, you know, because for me, there's never enough sparkles. Yeah, sometimes they're on an end cap. Mine were like on the back of a shelf in the school supplies area with like the pencil case organization stuff. And I grabbed the last 3 that they had the other day because I was like, whatever, I need them. Oh, I don't know. YouTube can be funny sometimes. Okay. We'll do the beard. So if I do accidentally kind of color outside of the lines, it's no big deal. I'll just kind of wait for the paint to dry, go back in with a little bit of black and see if I can't touch it up. And sometimes I'll have to add, you know, the color again because I'm messy. But this little tool really helps keep these lines nice and crisp. And I just go right underneath, right up to the line. Not enough to where it starts like overflowing, which I just kind of did by accident, but right underneath, because I still want to see like the indentation of the etched area, because that kind of, you know, it looks like line work. Oh yeah, a box of goodies, you say? Dinner was really easy, honestly, tonight. I wasn't feeling like sausage, like bratwurst, because that's what we had. So I made spaghetti last night, and the plan originally was that we would just have that for leftovers. But we tried a new sauce, and it was not good. So we had to kind of change up the dinner plan for tonight. So we got these like They look like egg rolls, but they have pepperoni and like cheese inside. They're like pizza egg rolls. And so I just put a few of those in the air fryer and we dip them in marinara sauce. Yeah. You can even say that, like, you know, the dot art that we do is a form of pointillism. Yeah, crock pot cooking is awesome. I just don't have enough, like, good recipes. And I'm not, like, my sister, she can just throw stuff in a crock pot and it turns out good. I'm not like that. I need to, like, actually, like, follow a recipe. And even still, I feel like sometimes the recipes that I follow are, like, absolutely terrible. Ooh, yummy. Yeah. So for those of you guys who say that the lines disappear, I just want to kind of like remind you guys that you're not trying to overflow the lines, right? You want to stay right in the center. So like I'm noticing right here, just right in this area, my line isn't as indented, but I can still see it, you know. But since I'm not using that as like a barrier, because I'm going right up to it, just not over it, I'm not having an issue with where my paint is. So try not to use your lines as like your barrier for the paint, because you don't want to paint right on top of them. I love gnocchi, for real. It's so delish. Now, when you say sloppy joes, are they sweet or are they like savory, you know, more salty kind of flavor? Because the sloppy joes that I grew up on were like barbecue kind of flavor, and we put like a slice of American cheese on top. Like the Kraft singles. And the first time I had like a savory sloppy joe, I was literally so confused. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna putz around with this and try and add to it. There's a couple little spots on here that's kind of missing. So I might actually round this one out just a little bit, just a tad. I don't want to like go too crazy, but I'm gonna text Anna tomorrow with some feedback on this guy, because I feel like there's a couple weird things about it. Like he's already missing a foot too. I had to draw the foot in there. So, oh, I don't know if I know what that tastes like. But yeah, the first time I had like a not barbecue style sloppy joe, I was like shocked. I was like, what is this? This is yucky. And they were like, a sloppy joe? I'm like, that's not a sloppy joe. And they're like, well, whatever you're eating is not a sloppy joe, because this is the beard. He's got a big beard. At least that's how I painted this one the last time. I think that this one specifically is missing a little bit of line work, so it kind of requires a little bit of, you know, judgment onto like where to put some stuff. So I made this like a giant beard the last time I did it, so I think that's what I'm gonna do this time too. Oh, interesting. No, I haven't. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, see, sloppy joe to me is just the barbecue. But apparently that's not accurate. So I kind of went outside the lines a little bit. So once that dries, I'll go in with some black paint and just like clean it up a little bit. Yeah, once this whole thing gets painted, it's a little bit easier to kind of see. But sometimes they have clothes and sometimes they don't. I think this one could potentially have clothes. I'll have to ask 24 hour to just kind of look at the file, because every once in a while something's missed on the file and they don't realize it. So I always outline everything first before I kind of go in and do the fill with the rest of the paint, because it's just easier this way to, you know, not make as big of a mess and not like color outside the lines. If you do it this way, it does take a little longer, I think, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe if you do it this way and you take the time to do it this way, there's less cleanup in the end, so it helps you in the long run. So then, oh, that's a paint bugger. That wasn't supposed to happen. Hold on. One of the risks of painting out of the bottle cap, you know. But now I just go in and I'm a little messier. I don't really have to worry about it. These will test your eyesight, that's for sure. They test mine. And to me, this is easier than trying to paint it with a little paintbrush. Because, you know, you can get one nice opaque layer of paint instead of having to go over it multiple times when you paint it with a paintbrush, you know. Oh. Maybe that's why I have like so many lights over here. Because I noticed that whenever I paint in the other room, like when I like pull up my little TV stand and I try and sit on the couch and paint, I feel like when I was doing these the other week, like during the Super Bowl, I could not see the lines for shit. Ugh. And then once I came over here, I was like, oh, I can see them so much better. What the heck? So the lighting really does have an effect for sure. Now, I don't worry about like the blotchiness per se on these, as long as they're nice and covered, because I'll go back in with glitter paint to make them sparkly. And then I do a resin coat and it smooths everything out. So I don't mind if the white looks blotchy, because it won't look that way in the end. My goal is to just get it nice and opaque and covered. Yep, I am not pushing down at all. I'm utilizing a lot of paint, and I'm kind of just swirling. Yeah, this is LED, so it's like more cool, I think. He's just got a really big beard, you know? But no, I think he should probably be wearing pants. Like if I had to like guess, his beard would kind of like go around and then he'd have pants right here and like maybe his, I don't know. Like I feel like his beard's just a little big. It's like severely overgrown. But hey, we're gonna deal with it. Like for example, let me show you. Like all of these ones, they have some sort of like line work to them, even though they're holding stuff. Mm-hmm. Hello, hello. Like I might even like attempt to draw some stuff later once it's dry. I don't know. But the last one I did like this, he looked totally fine, so we're just gonna leave it. So I'm gonna go back in with that really pointy tool. And I'm not really worried about going over the white as much. I'm worried about just trying to bring my line work back again, touch it up. And then once that dries, I'll go back in with the white. Yeah, definitely. It's funny once you kind of see them next to each other. So I'll send Anna a picture tomorrow and she'll fix it. That's probably not dry enough, which is why I can't. Okay. Anyways. Not yet, but I'll ask her tomorrow. I want a couple new gnomes. I'll just write it down again so I don't forget. Good night, Shelby. And I think we're going to give him a purple hat. Yeah, that's the bunny that I'm imagining, and that's what I was going to ask her for, but he's holding an egg. I'm getting low on these. Like I still have a bunch, but a lot of them are like Christmas, which is fine. But I'm really enjoying the non-Christmas, the other seasons, like the regular things, like the butterflies and stuff. And I want to paint more of those. Oops, colored out of the line. Stormy, what's up, ma'am? It depends. My yarn gnomes, not so much. But like any little ornament in like stash jar I've done usually sells pretty quickly. Yeah. Just laying here, relaxing. Yeah, so these ones are little little Easter gnomes. I'm excited for like when Halloween time comes. Oh my gosh, can you imagine all the cute ones that we could do for Halloween? I don't leave the top off the entire time, just when I'm using it. So like once I'm done with this color, I'll put it away, or I'll put the top back on. And I usually like put the top back on and shake it up to kind of get more paint in the bottom. I don't always pour my paint into the little containers because, you know, sometimes it's not a color that I'm going to use all the time, and then I feel like I'm wasting it. But yeah, I am pretty quick, that's for sure. I probably should have done this part first before the bottom, but it's fine. Carefully outlining. What I'm kind of doing is I'm just like pushing and pulling the paint with the pointy tool. I'm very much utilizing the point. Because it's almost too pointy to kind of pick up paint on its own. I mean, obviously I am, but this one's like, if you try and dot with it, it doesn't really do anything. But if you have a lot of paint, you can push it and nudge it along, you know. I got bored the other day, and my nails were starting to chip. Sometimes if she doesn't put a thick enough top coat on, whenever I get like a chrome, sometimes the tips of my nails, they start chipping, and so you'll see like black parts, and that bothered me. That's what was happening. So I decided to file them a little bit pointy again, kind of touch them up, and then I do have like gel nail polish, and I have a UV light, so I just filed them, and then I did a clear top coat, put it under my lamp, wiped off the tacky layer after it cured, and then I took my pigment powder and just, you know, and then I did a clear coat. And so yeah, so this one is Aphrodite. So Aphrodite is like Galaxy, but it's also got like more of like a range of colors than just like teal, purple, and blue and pink, you know. This one also has like orangey kind of colors. And then this one's Equinox, whatever. So it's like purpley pink forward, but as you tip, it goes more green gold. I couldn't decide. I really do love this one. This one and Galaxy are my favorites. This is like the color I want my hair to be. Which, Saturday, we'll see. I'm due It's been a year. So. Yeah, I couldn't decide. Good, good. It was very quick, you know. I thought that they were gonna like try and bleach out my hair, like just like a little strand today. But she was like, you know, your hair is so grown out that like, I mean, I could pretty much tell that the majority of it is your natural color at this point. And she's like, and we're gonna do like, you know, the jewel tones because like you're gonna want to go a little darker because I wash my hair every other day. I can't not. And the shampoo that I use does strip color. So she was like, you're gonna have to go a little darker because it'll just last longer, you know, it'll start fading, but it won't fade as quickly, you know. So she was like, yeah, we'll just we'll give you a nice cut because I really need a haircut too. And what's interesting is when she, and I don't know, I never noticed it. I don't know why I never noticed it until she like had my hair down and she was like, she was brushing it. But my hair on the right side of my body is about 2 inches shorter than the left side, which, you know, I don't know, I just never noticed. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. And she goes, well, I have a question for you. What side of your body do you wear your purse? And I was like, my right side. And she goes, that's why. And I just never really thought about it, you know? So they're cutting about 4 inches on my left side and about 2 on my right. So I had this issue with, like I didn't have psoriasis, but I had like this like patch on my head like last year that was just incredibly freaking itchy and it just would not go away. And I don't know like what it was. And literally the only thing that helped was this like not charcoal, what's it called? No, asphalt? What's the smell of asphalt? What the hell is it called? Coal tar. It was a coal tar shampoo. That was the only thing that helped. So it fucking stinks. But it cleared it up. And I haven't had an issue since. But like if I don't use it, then sometimes it comes back. Sometimes if your hair is down and you put the strap over your shoulder, it can like slowly break off pieces of your hair. Like here, let me see if you guys can tell. Hello. Oh, let me see. So, you see how like this part's longer than this? I was like, oh, what the heck? So she's gonna cut about like this much off, and obviously we're gonna shape it up, and then we'll cut like, you know, probably be to like here. But yeah, she was like, yeah, if you like wear your purse and it gets stuck and you kind of go like this, it tends to, but can you like, wow, my hair is so grown out. Can't deal with it. I can't wait to go back to my mermaid self though. Oh, hi. I usually have my hair up when I'm painting, but if I'm out and about, my hair's down. So like, you know, my purse probably does kind of. Yep, because like that kind of shampoo didn't do anything to help it. It's called, my dad, he was like, well, it kind of sounds like you have what's it called? Is it called seborrheic dermatitis? And sometimes that happens like if your diet sucks, which like it did, and I'm working on it. And like I think stress has stuff to do with it and other things like that too. Like I was really struggling with it the other year. And honestly, like I haven't gone without the shampoo because I'm like afraid for it to come back. So I just use that shampoo every other day. Now, when my hair is colored, like, I usually just do like the roots and stuff, and then I just kind of let the water kind of pull the shampoo down. Like, I won't like scrub, you know, my color that much. But the other thing that I was doing a lot, which I don't do anymore, is I was going to bed with wet hair, and that's not good either. So like, I dry my hair now, you know, after my shower. I don't go to bed with my hair wet anymore. So, you know, I've made changes since I had that issue, but I just, I don't want to test it, you know, like it was so itchy and uncomfortable, and it was only in one spot. Like, it wasn't all over my head. It was just one little spot, kind of like sort of behind my ear. Yeah, I could use it like a couple, like, you know, I can go down, you know. It says to use it a few times a week. And since I only wash my hair like 3 times a week, I guess, roughly, then, you know, so. It's from Walmart. It is like, it's a coal tar shampoo. I think it's Walmart brand, like great, it might be great value. It's like $5 or $6. It's really cheap. And like, you know, it's a small lure bottle, but I don't use it every day, so like it does last me about a month. But yeah, it worked wonders. Yeah, I do, I just do a messy bun usually. So, you know, it could be, you know, my hairband slightly ripping my hair out, but honestly, I think it was just mostly me, you know, wearing my hair down and my purse kind of ripping my hair out, breaking my ends, whatever. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Equate, that's what it is. The Equate brand. But yeah, it literally, that was the only thing that ever worked. And it almost cleared up immediately, like within a couple days. It's in the section of shampoo where like is it called like what, Noxzema? Where the eczema shampoo is, like in that area. And I think where, you know, like specialty shampoo is. So it's not like the main aisle, it's like, for me, like the aisle over. Thanks. Let me see if I can't pull it up on Google and show you what the bottle looks like. Equate coal tar shampoo. That's exactly what it is, the tea gel. Yep, that's exactly what it is, because it looks very similar. So it looks like this. The bottle, it comes in a box. But it does help dandruff, psoriasis, and seborrheic dermatitis. But I tried like actual like psoriasis shampoo and stuff like that, and it didn't work. And I used to use Head and Shoulders all the time. It didn't work. The only thing that worked was that stuff. So it smells like ass. Like, it literally smells like you were outside and someone repaved the pavement, and you just like have, like, you know, the tar smell all over you. I'm used to it now, and I mean, I use like a dry shampoo that smells good afterwards. Like, after I blow dry my hair, I put some dry shampoo in my roots. Oh, I just bought it the other day, so at least at my store, it's still there. But yeah, so it smells like chocolate is my dry shampoo, so it helps. But I did get used to it over time, so maybe that's why it doesn't bother me anymore. But the first time I used it, both me and Scott were like, I don't know if I can do that. But we kept up with it, or I kept up with it. Woo. Okay, let's get some dots on here. I rearranged my paint, so I gotta find where I put everything again. Usually it tells you the aisle that it's in. I don't know if it's in the same aisle everywhere. Maybe it doesn't say it online, but usually on the app it'll say. G20. Yeah, I think that's honestly the same thing, because I saw T-gel on like the shopping list when I looked up that on Google. It looks almost the same, so I would probably think, yeah, it's probably the same thing. But yeah, it works, and yeah, it's just rough. It's rough on my hair, so I have to like condition it too, because it really dries everything out. But like, I think that's kind of the point. That's true, yeah. But yeah, if you look it up on your app, it'll tell you what aisle it's in. So yeah, anyways, gonna be my mermaid self on Saturday again. I'm excited. Can't wait. My galaxy mermaid self. I'll actually, my hair will actually match my profile picture on Facebook again. I don't know, I'm seeing a different girl though, but I think she'll do a good job. No, it's on Saturday. So Saturday, I have to double check, but I think that I scheduled myself off during the day, I think, because my cousin we were supposed to go to like a birthday dinner, and we were supposed to meet at 5, and usually my live ends at 5. So I think I like scheduled myself off during the daytime live on Saturday, and if not, I'm canceling the daytime live because I'm getting my hair done. But she's actually sick, so her birthday dinner got canceled, which is kind of sad. I feel bad that she's sick for her birthday. So I'm gonna have like shadow roots, dark shadow roots, and you know, the rest is gonna be color. What's up, Judy? I don't think we'll think bad of you. I need more Bahama Blue. Let's consult the paint store. Hopefully I have some. Crystal blue. Where's my Bahama Blue? Here it is. Oh, I missed. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, my appointment's at like 12:15 on Saturday. Nothing like a new bottle of paint. Nothing like it. But we might still go out to dinner, like my family, like my mom, my sister, you know, because we like spending time with family, and we were all planning to go out to dinner anyways, so. I know it's tough to, you know, with you know, your family situation, Judy, but I don't think it's gonna be that way forever, you know. And do you talk, I mean, I'm not a therapist, but do you talk to anyone, you know? Because sometimes when you sit in your thoughts like that, it can be not so great. And as much as you think things are better without you in it. That's definitely not the case. But I know you're hurting, and I'm so sorry that's what you're going through, you know. But there's a lot more people that care about you than you think. Yeah, you got the whole Dot fam behind you. Have you been making time for yourself to, like, you know, do your hobbies and stuff? Because you know, that can really help you a lot. Yep. Yep. And sometimes if, like, you know, you don't go anywhere, that like, you know, maybe you, like, yeah, maybe it might be fulfilling to get out and about and, you know, like, you know, visit visit like, well, you know, you could volunteer somewhere, you could go visit some people who could really, like, you know, use a smile, you know. Maybe make some art, bring it to a local hospital or a nursing home, and like give them to people in there, and, you know, really see how that, like, impacts their day in a positive way, you know. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but at least for me, whenever I'm feeling down, the worst thing that I can do is just not do anything at all, you know. But we love you, Judy. Mm-hmm. Bless you. Yeah, art is very therapeutic in many ways. Sometimes in ways that we don't really realize, you know. It's not going to take away the hurt, but it'll help you kind of find an outlet, you know. There you go. Try and make a habit of painting at least every day, or doing something artsy. I know you I know you have you know, so many different arts and crafts. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, maybe like pick up baking or something, and then I don't know. I know, that's what you said the last time. You definitely should try and like make an effort to paint or do something every day, you know. I believe she has a dog. Exactly, you know, he loves you, and honestly, a pet's love is so unconditional. Yeah. Can he still go on walks? So sometimes I do it just to like get a really nice little dot. Like maybe I don't have enough paint, or I'm just trying to make my dot just a little bit bigger, you know, than the size that the tool actually makes. But yeah, it depends. It depends on what kind of dot I'm trying to do. For these teeny tiny dots, I'm probably using tools that might be a little too large. So you can kind of see me going like this a little bit because I'm just trying to just do a teeny bit of paint because I'm lazy and I don't feel like changing my tool 10,000 times. Yeah, so maybe just getting out and getting some fresh air once or twice a day, taking him for a walk will help. I mean, especially, you know, if the weather is a little bit sunnier, you know, that vitamin D can really help. I know. It definitely is harder at first. You know, you just gotta give yourself a little bit of grace and patience whenever you're, you know, relearning your dotting ways. Not to mention like this, you know, this time is, you know, seasonal depression, and just, you know, the fact that the weather is not nice makes just regular depression worse. You know, so maybe I mean, I'm not saying that you're only feeling this way because the weather has been kind of shitty, but it's definitely not helping, right? So once springtime comes and summertime comes, it's gonna make you feel a lot better. Do you have one of those like sun lamps? I don't have one, but I do notice that like around like Christmas time, in the winter time when I have my Christmas tree up, just the happiness that I get just from sitting in front of my Christmas tree with the lights on just makes such a big difference, especially if I'm feeling down, you know. But yeah, this time of year does not help, that's for sure. Hello, hello. Yeah, the ambiance really helps. Yeah, like I was on the phone with my sister today while she was driving home from school from work, and I was just sitting there petting Tub, and I was like, my guy, you just make me so happy. Just such a little ball of love, ball of fur. Yeah, vitamin D. It's, you know, I was talking to Kayla, and she was like, "Did you know that like women need to get outside more and walk and be in the sun longer than men?" I was like, "No, I didn't know that." And she was, "Yeah, our vitamin D, it depletes a lot faster." And just being outside, you know, for 15, 20, 30 minutes a day is like so helpful. And sometimes, like, you know, just taking an animal on a walk is, you know, what you need. So when I do these this pastel coloration like this, for these specific ones, I don't bring in any other colors. What I do is I just top dot. I do blue on top of yellow, pink on top of. Wait, I have to think about it. Blue on top of, yeah, pink. Hold on, I'll show you. Let me pull one down. So I just like switch them, you know, and then I go back in and I triple dot them with extreme glitter so that they sparkle. Hello, hello. How's it going? Right? So cute. Sometimes, like, you know, this is only like a half of my pastel rainbow color palette. You know, if I wanted to, I could do orange and green and purple, and in that case I would just do one on top of one color and one on top of the other. But for me, when I think of Peeps, even though they do make them in other colors, like, these are the main Peeps colors to me anyways when I think about it. So that's why I'm just doing those three colors. Hello, how's it going? Yes, we are. Yep, we're gonna be getting some not so good weather, whether it be rain or snow or sleet. Kind of just depends, but I did see that we have some not so fun weather in the next few days. Yep. Yep. It's not gonna be fun. Yeah, this weekend's gonna be a little yucky. Perfect time for me to get my hair done. I swear, every time I get my hair done, it's always raining. I don't know why, but it is. Dirty rain. Ugh. The news is on, talking about the weather. Yep, I saw there was a few places with tornadoes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a fun reason to be in Pittsburgh. Oh, that'll be fun. That should be fun. Yeah, I think we're gonna get probably a mix this weekend of snow and rain. I don't know though. I know, aren't they fun? So I don't know if you guys saw my little poll on right. um, you know, it was funny. I was actually supposed to be in Green Tree on Saturday. We were supposed to go to Olive Garden um for my cousin's birthday, but she's sick, so we're not doing that anymore. Um, I don't know if you guys saw my poll on Facebook the other day about the mystery tool sets and whether or not we're gonna keep them a full mystery or not. Um, obviously you guys were no help. Because it's pretty much tied half and half. The keep it a secret is a little bit higher. It's like 54% of people said keep it a total secret, and then the other half said reveal it day of. I think what we're gonna do, because you know, since it is so split, obviously it wouldn't be necessarily fair to anyone. I mean, I technically I can do whatever I want, but I want to be as fair as possible. So, you know, I don't want to just reveal it and then ruin it for half, you know, half of the people who want it to be a secret, right? But I also, you know, don't 100% want to like keep it a secret for the people who don't. Now, with that being said, it is a mystery. It is a fun thing. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to buy it kind of thing. And, you know, that did kind of cross my mind. But I think what we're going to do is we'll give you guys a sneak peek of 2 of the tools in the set. And it's not going to ruin, it's not going to give away the entire theme, but it'll at least kind of show you maybe a little bit of what the theme is kind of gonna be. Like I said, it is very niche. It's very dot fam specific. You know, it's a tool set that kind of is like a mix of like me and Dory in one set. So I'm going to pick one tool from me, one tool from her in that set, and we're going to show it. And based on those 2 sets, the people who, you know, are kind of like on the fence, they can use that to decide if that might be a set that they want, but it's not going to give away the entire set for people who want it to be a secret. And I think that's how we're going to keep it. So I think, you know, that's the best way I can keep everyone as happy as possible. So some of it's just like kind of a fun thing, you know. Some people love a mystery, so, you know, and with it being like something that's exclusive and never going to be sold again, like some people like to collect, right? And it's more fun than anything, you know. I can understand it if it was like some random thing from like a big box store, but like I think when it comes to like a small business, I think people are, not everyone, obviously, but I think some people are more uh, likely to go with a mystery from a small business that they trust than some big box business that they don't. So create a little bit of FOMO, you know, fear of missing out. So I used to buy mystery boxes all the time. Part of the fun of it is seeing what's inside. Yeah, we're gonna do 100 of the exclusive set. Because since it's exclusive, you know, I don't wanna potentially have to, like, you know, we don't want to sell more than we make more than we sell, right? Um, but the mystery set that will be released later in the year, we'll probably have more of those since, you know, they will be released again officially later on in the year. So we won't have to worry about having tools that potentially don't sell. And I say that because, like, even though you guys typically surprise me, and you know, I'll sell more than I think, you know, you know, I'm just, we're just being careful. And I think 100 is a good number for it being an exclusive. Like, there's only going to be 100 made. Um, so yeah. Oh, it does kind of look like he's blowing a bubble. Maybe I'll put dots on this one. I didn't on the last one. But maybe I'll put some dots on it. So yeah, I do want to set a time. Originally my thought process was release it at the time that we sold our first tool, but it was a little bit later in the day than I remember it being. Like, it was at like almost, it was 2:54 my time, I think. And I think that's a little late for a release, but maybe it's not. So I'm still kind of thinking on, like, do I want to do it at that random time? I mean, it's not random, but you know, or do I want to do it at like noon? And the reason that we're not doing a pre-order is because I want to have things in hand so that I can send them out pretty much all at the same time and hope that most of you guys get them all around the same time. I mean, I won't be approving any posts for a little bit so that we can keep it a secret until everybody, you know, gets it, or most people get it, you know, but yeah, not too early for you guys, that's true. But yeah, I think it would be a little different if, like, I always was doing something mystery, but like we've never had a mystery exclusive tool set before, so I think it's a fun little thing to do on my anniversary of dotting. I also want to say, I wasn't going to say anything, but the set is also not going to be the normal price. It's actually going to be $20. So it's not like it's 30, like a full set price. So it will technically be like a sale price, you know. This will be March 6th. And it'll go till March 7th, inventory permitting. How's your little how's the little fighter baby doing? Oh, look at you. Yeah, it's not going to be super late in the night. I want to do it earlier. Yeah. But I was very interested to see, like, how split everything was. Yes, yep. So when we first started selling the tools, I think that's what the price was. So we're kind of doing that to honor like our anniversary, you know? Good, good. I don't think everyone does the resin, but I showed the difference between like one with just like triple thick on it and one with resin on it. And not that it looks bad, because, you know, some people just don't do resin, and you know, that's totally fine. But for me, I think that the resin just completely elevates them. I'm gonna try, maybe not this time around. I mean, I'll look. I'll look. I don't know if he has pearls. Most of them are nice and shifty and shiny. There's one that's like, it's not quite white pearl, but it is lighter than the rest and kind of gives me like a moonstone kind of vibe. Where is it? Let's see. Oops. Where is it? What is it? What is it? Did I already pass it up? Here it is. So it's not quite white. It has like a little bit of like a purpley bluish hue with sparkle, but that's the lightest one. But I'll look to see what kind of like white pigments he has. We'll see if he has like a true like iridescent one. The other thing that we're going to be doing on the 7th of March, because that's my dot-iversary, is we're going to be doing a tutorial live in the regular dot fan group. So it's not going to be in the VIP group. You don't have to be part of VIP to do it. It'll be VIP style. So for those of you guys who are considering VIP but don't know if it's, you know, going to be for you, or you're not sure how the tutorials kind of go, that'll kind of give you a little bit of an insight into like what you could expect a typical VIP tutorial to be. Some of them are like larger projects, but I'm specifically choosing a project that we can do in about a 2-hour time frame. So it'll be maybe like, you know, a 3.5 to 4 inch kind of size piece. It might be a stash jar, it might be like a coaster or something like that. But I think it'll be fun to kind of give, you know, everybody the opportunity to kind of be part of a tutorial. Oh, okay, let me look. JGrondz. My computer's so slow. I think I need to update it. Oh, such a little guy. Aww. Well, you know you got us here in your corner, Judy. Another thing that I'm working on, which is something that you guys have asked for a second, and I promise I'm working on it. I'm working on a video that shows a bunch of different ways to... Can you guys hear me? I hope you guys can hear me. It's a video that shows a bunch of different ways that you can use those pigment powders. So because one of the methods is brushing it inside a mold and then pouring resin, I had to wait for, you know, I had to film that process and then wait for the resin to cure and do the unmolding and stuff. So I'm currently working on a video that I'll be posting across all my platforms that kind of shows like the different ways to use the pigments in your art, or just like in general. Like obviously you can use them on nails too, but to use them like in our art specific way, I am making a video that shows a bunch of different ways. 1 pound, not see, and I thought it was crazy that I was 2 pounds 11 ounces. That's insane. Little miracle baby, that's for sure is what he is. Is that their first? Oh, did it pause for a second? Sorry about that. Yeah, I've been here the whole time. Good. Yeah, I know it's a scary time right now, but thank gosh for, you know, the medical stuff these days, you know. Yeah. Just a little guy. I have such a love-hate relationship with these ornaments. Like, I love them so much, and they turn out so damn pretty when they're done. I just hate how much longer they take. It's the coloring part, and honestly, like, sometimes I'll just sit there and do the coloring part off camera and just do them, so that all I have to do on camera is dot. I know it doesn't really change how long it takes to do them, but it doesn't feel like it takes as long. You know, when I do them, do different parts at different times. Right. Oh, well, that's good that she doesn't have to go anywhere, technically. I think it's higher, but I also think it depends on, like, you know, your family history, and I'm pretty sure that there wasn't, that we know of anyways, there really wasn't any family history of twins. So like, we're the only twins in the family, at least, you know, recently. So everybody was surprised. Nobody was expecting it. My parents were super surprised at one point, and they kept it a secret from everyone. And then once they like got like the ultrasound that showed us both, they like went and showed his parents. And they're my grandma and grandpa. I wasn't there, obviously, but they're watching the video, and you know, they're like, "Oh my gosh, baby, like how cute." And then my grandpa, he realized that there was more than one, and he goes, "Holy shit, there's 2 of them." It's one of those things I wish I was there for, you know, I wish I saw that. Yeah, right. I was there, but didn't hear. When I was in high school, I dated a twin. Now they were fraternal, but I dated a twin for a little bit, for about a year. My best friend dated his brother. And then obviously, like, she dated his brother first. Like, they were together first. And then, you know, we always just hung out together. And, you know, then I started dating the other brother. I wonder if that's one of the reasons my mom was so upset when we broke up. I mean, he was a really good guy, but I didn't feel, you know, I liked him, but I didn't, you know, I couldn't get past a certain, you know, part of the like, I just, you know, I didn't fall in love with him. So, yeah, yep. Yep, identical twins. The eggs split. The egg splits. I mean, I liked him at first, but I didn't like love him, and I was going off to college. Well, I was a senior, so I wasn't going to college right away. But you know, well, no, we went to prom together, so I guess it was kind of close. I don't know. I just you know, he liked me a lot more than I liked him, and I just, you know, I felt bad. He was such a good guy, but like dumb. Like he was just an airhead. And I don't want to say I'm not like super smart. I'm smart, but I'm not like, you know. And I got, you know, I got the ick. It's the best way I can describe it. I got the ick so many times. And I just couldn't see myself with him forever. And we were, you know, we were both going to different colleges, and I knew it was going to be tough. You know, it's not like I had, you know, a boyfriend right away in college or anything, or fooled around or anything, but yeah, I just knew it wasn't going to work out. I saw him like not the other day, like last year sometime at the grocery store. It was like kind of awkward, but like, you know, he's just a very nice guy. He's like, "How's your mom?" I'm like, "Oh, she's good." Text my mom, "Hey mom, I saw Brad." And she goes, "Oh my gosh." Yeah, I couldn't help it. And I can't even like say like really what it was exactly. Oh, you know what? I know what it was. Um, so in his school, we went to different school districts. In his school, like he was part of like the popular crowd, and like he was on the football team and stuff like that. And the boys in the popular groups, they all wear like white and cream to prom, you know, instead of like black. And I just was like, no, like you can't wear that to my prom, you know. You have to wear not, you know, you can't wear white. You're gonna look like a douchebag, you know. But whatever, like he still wore it. It's fine. Got a couple weird looks, you know. But like when he was dancing, he like took off his tie and like tied it around his head, and was just being like a total like I don't know. It was just weird, and I couldn't get over it. I really couldn't. There were just weird things, and I was like, no. He was trying too hard to be cool at a school that he didn't know anyone. And I was just like, you know, I wasn't part of the unpopular group. I wasn't part of the popular group. I was just kind of in the middle, you know. I floated very easily in the middle of everyone. Like, no one bothered me. I wouldn't say I, you know, ever got bullied that I knew of. You know, maybe people made fun of me. I just didn't know about it. But like, I didn't want attention brought to myself, and I just felt like there was a lot of attention, and I was like, oh my God. As bad as that sounds, I was just like, no thanks. No thanks. He did something else too, and I don't remember now, but I remember being like, oh God. I will say one of the nice like memories that I have about like going to prom with him was I went to his prom first. 'Cause like their prom was before ours. And where he lived was in the same town as my great grandma. So obviously neither of my great grandmas, you know, are alive for my wedding. But one of them was alive for prom, and we stopped at her house, so like we could get like, you know, pictures, and so she could at least see me in like a fancy dress. And that was like super sweet, you know what I mean, that she at least got to see that, you know, because like, you know, she wasn't going to be alive to see me or my sister get married. And so that was really nice, and I'm really thankful, obviously, for that. Yeah. Everybody in this comes is fighting. Oh, and he was dancing to, was it Dougie? The teach me how to Dougie, teach me how to Dougie. I don't know that dance. That was like something that was not where I grew up, but like it was very popular at his area. And I don't know, just the way that he was dancing just bugged me. Man, that sounds so shallow, but you know, as like a high schooler, like a teenager, you know, that stuff that stuff matters, you know. But yeah, it was really nice to go see my great grandma. I guess this is gonna have lots of flowers because I can't stop. Okay. I feel like we need one here, but it's fine. We're not gonna do that. I feel like they'll be too close together if I do that. I don't know. That was a bad decision to put one here. I should have like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll take this one off. And I'll just kind of split them a little bit more. That's fine. That'll be fine. Do one there. And then we'll do one here. Better. Not perfect, but it just needs dots. Dots will make all the difference. I wasn't really thinking. I probably should have just, whatever, it's fine. Pretty not perfect, right? Wow, where has the time gone? My goodness. Yeah, Sue, have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out. Hello, hello. This one is banana cream. Baby duck is also very similar, so either one would work. Yep. Oh, she was the best. My mom, she had both of her great grandmas, or her grandmas, so our great grandmas. She had both of her grandmas for a long time. And they actually were all pretty much alive past like my grandparents. So to me, since my mom's mom hasn't been in our life at all, they were our grandmas. Like we didn't call them great grandma, we just called them grandma. And one was Lebanese, one was Italian, and they were just amazing. I feel so blessed to like have known them for as long as I did. Oh, how was that? Yeah, I had three. I had one on my dad's side for a while. I think I was like maybe a freshman in college when that one passed away. And then the other two passed away like not too much longer after, but like, you know, a few years after. So I had three great grandmas for a nice chunk of my life. You know, I never read the book, and so I don't really know the full storyline. Oh. I still remember like my parents, like they went on vacation and I stayed with like my grandma and grandpa on my dad's side for like a week. I don't know why I don't know what, I don't know. I don't know. My parents, maybe they just wanted to go on vacation without us. But, we stayed with my grandparents for a week and like my grandpa had to like, you know, drive us to school every morning and, grandma, so you know, it's a memory, you know, I can't help it. Grandma on dad's side, grandma smoked like literally her entire life and didn't die of cancer, just, you know, died of, you know, other things, old age kind of. Anyways, but like I stayed, eventually she did quit, but at this point she was still smoking and she would sit outside and smoke cigarettes. And grandpa would sleep like on the couch or something and we'd sleep in bed with grandma. And like in the middle of the night, grandma would just, you know, toot in her sleep and it smelled like smoke. And I remember, like I vividly remember like me and my sister kind of like giggling about it and being like so shocked that it like, you know, smelled like that. And that's just one of those things I remember from staying at grandma and grandpa's house while mom and dad were on vacation, you know? And my grandpa, he made the best raviolis. It was literally Prego with meat sauce, but man, that shit was delish. And we looked forward to it. He made it every time we came over. Thank you. Oh, oh, oh. Text video. Okay, let me look. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Ooh, yes.
Here's what it turned out. Healthy. For each size too, which fits them perfectly. A little bit smaller ones, which fit the plastic dotted ones, didn't use extras. So, there we go. Got the whole ones, regular ones, and I got a couple pencil in there, got some pen in there. I got the Q-tips here, some extra Q's over there. I got those pretty iridescent ones.
Nice.
So I think that turned out really nice. So let me know what you think. Yeah, cool.
So Dory and I are, we're playing around with an idea for like a tool stand, like a dotting, just like a regular dotting tool stand, like a stand that'll hold not only like, you know, your ballpoints and your acrylic dowels and like extra tools that you might have, but it'll also have a spot for like Q-tips and things like that, as well as a little spot. I mean, you can use it for whatever you want, but as well as like a little side slot for those black business cards that we use for like color palette cards. But yeah, we were texting last night and I was like, hear me out. And she was like, it's funny, I have something similar that I had to work on for a class. And so we just kind of, you know, put our heads together and I kind of drew up a little picture of something that I was imagining and, you know, she brought it to life. But it's really nice. It's not huge. Like I didn't want it like super large to like take up your entire desk. You know, but something nice to hold all your tools and your Q-tips and your cards and things. Should I show them? You guys want to see? All right. So before I play the video, let me explain. I mean, she'll explain it too. But these are for your dowels, you know, like the 15, the 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 6, 5, 4, 3. All right. Those will go in the back. And then these are your like regular ballpoint tools. And then all these slots are for anything extra, like pens and whatever. This is where you can put Q-tips and something else. And then this side right here is where those color palette cards will be.
Here's what it turned out. Empty. Slot for each size too, which fits them perfectly. A little bit smaller ones, which fit the plastic body ones, and then these are extra. So here we go.
Yay! Isn't that sweet? A small tool rest in the front. So it would still, if I'm thinking of a tool rest the way you're thinking of a tool rest, to me, where's my tool rests? Pretend this is a tool rest. If this was sitting in the front and it was right here, they would be like touching. You know what I mean? Good night. Good night, Judy. So, you know, we're just thinking of some things. Well, I don't know how long it is. A full slot behind it to hold the PSM and stuff. I like where you're going with that. I don't know how long it is though. We were trying to keep it kind of small, but I do kind of like for like the guides and stuff too, like little gauges and things. Not gauges, guide stencils. I have a little box that's like taped. It's taped right here that holds them. But, you know, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, shit. No, that'll go here. Just kidding. Oh yeah, so it's a little guy, 4.5 inches wide. I don't want it to take up too much room on your guys' desk. Like, I don't even have enough room, you know, on my desk for much. But a second one for guides and stencils. It's definitely an interesting idea. Let me think. You guys have my thinker turning, you know. There might be a little smoke coming out, but so I am resining the bunny because I want to. I wouldn't say it's necessary to resin the bunny, but I thought it might be nice because I'll probably I'm gonna try and keep at least the one of them for my own like decor display, and I wanted to see it shiny, so I resined it tonight just to kind of see, but I think it's definitely fine without resin too. Yeah, she did have a bigger one that had like a spot that you could like put your like pliers if you use them, and a little sticky note slot and things like that. You know, if that sounds like something you guys would use, then maybe it would make it longer and we can do a little thing on the back that would hold like the PSM or something. Obviously it's still kind of in prototype stage, so we're just kind of playing around with it. Like, what if, okay, hear me out, Dory. Let me just, so here's what I'm thinking. And this is gonna be like, if you're just looking straight down at it. So, where's my pen? I have 10,000 pens, but never a pen like right here. What the heck? Okay, we'll just use this one. So, this is the one now, right? Something like this-ish. So it's got the little Q-tip area and whatever like other random tool area here, and then you've got the 1 2 3 4 whatever, something like that, and then all those tools here, blah 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 blah. So that's how it is now, with this little spot for the cards. What if we do another one? Like, we'll have to make this bigger. So like, let's say this is 8 inches, 8-ish inches across, maybe a little bit longer to fit the PSM. We have like a little slot behind here that'll hold like, you know, the PSM 1 and 2, and then maybe, well, hold on, let me think about it, because that'll break. So basically, the second slot will have to be wide enough to hold, like, be like something like this, where it has all of the stash gauges and like these little guys, you know. So there'll be 2 of them, one for the black cards, one to hold the little stencils, and then a smaller compartment in the back for the PSM potentially. What do you guys think about that? Because if we did just one for like a PSM, I feel like it would, like, you know, like fall over, you know. I'm trying to think if we like need anything else. I'm like looking. Or, now this is gonna kind of be annoying, potentially, but I just want to show you the thing that I have because I love it. I just recently bought it. We could modify something like this. So these are my most used like tools, so I just like kind of keep them here. But it doesn't necessarily need a drawer. That would probably be a pain in the ass. But it's got like this thing here, which you can, you know, put whatever. It has two separate sections. This is deep. This holds like the dowels and rollers. This holds my ballpoint tools. This holds pens and stuff, and this. And then this guy is basically like this. It's just behind, and it's like a whole rectangle. And it holds all of like the smaller tools that I don't feel like putting away all the time. You could also do something like that with like a little slit behind it that holds your PSM. That's not a PSM. This is a PSM. I'll have to find a picture of it so you can kind of see, because that might work too. Oh yeah, you could make, yeah, you could make that you could make this like longer so that the cards aren't standing straight up, they're going this way. I almost gave away one of our secret tools. Didn't realize it was on there. Don't look at it. Oops. Okay, I'll find a picture of the aerial view so I don't have to take all my tools out. I'll find a picture of it and send it to you because I'm sure I can find it somewhere. I can't remember where I got it, but I'm sure I can find it. No, I'm not showing you. Some of you guys, if you're observant, you might have seen it, but I tried to move it really fast. I'll show it eventually because that'll be one of the ones that we sneak peek for you guys. But yeah. So maybe we do a couple options. I'll have to look and see if I can't find it. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys right now. Will I show what oh yeah. So okay, so I have these. This is a 12 split guide stencil, and this is an 8. These ones I use like all the time. These are 3 inches, so they're pretty like standard and things like that. And then these are stash jar stencils. So there are a bunch of them. Like there's an 8 split, a 6 split, 5, 4. I've got some prototypes in here, 12, 10, like there's like 8 or 10 of them. I can't remember, but these are sized specifically for the stash jar lids from the ones at Hobby Lobby. So you don't have to find your center. You just put it right on top. And since we paint stash jars so much in VIP, I thought that was like a pretty cool thing. And you don't even just have to use them for stash jars. You can use them for anything. Once you find your center on something, you can use it to split everything off, and then you can just extend your guidelines. And then the PSM is the thing that helps do the larger things. And then Paula, look what I found. And Dory, look what I found. I found them. So these haven't come out yet, but maybe they will soon. You are. I do see you, Nancy. What did you say? Let me go back. Blah, 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 blah. What project? Oh, yeah. Did you not hear me? The project for VIP is going to be like the resin one. I resined the bunny, but you don't necessarily have to. If you want to, you can. I did it tonight just to kind of see what it would look like, but it's not like, you know, set in stone by any means. But anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow night at 9:30 over on TikTok. And we'll probably maybe finish these 2 ornaments, and then I don't know what we're doing. It's usual, pretty usual. I don't know what we're doing, but we'll figure it out. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful night. See you soon. Goodbye.